So when you listen to the way Jesus talks, God will not have a tree that produces good and evil fruit. There's always a clear separation. He will not have hot and cold because that makes lukewarm. It's a mixing of good and evil. There is always a clear separation all throughout the Bible of good fruit and bad fruit on a tree. The tree of life, every decision, every principle of it only leads to life. That's the good seed that Jesus sows. He turns man, which is made, if you ever look at us, we're made like a tree. Our hands that bear the fruit also produce the fruit. And the knowledge, Satan had to have a chance to plant his own tree of good and evil, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. When Jesus talks about the parable of the sower, he plants only good seed. He talks about an enemy has done this, the wheats and the tares in the crop. All you got to do is simply look at the principles. God, the Word of God, takes and separates good and evil from the mind inside the man to where you end up literally producing the pure character of Christ in you. As time goes on, humanity goes, that's how it's separated versus the other that'll be a mixing of good and evil, which eventually becomes lukewarm and destroys the whole tree. Literally, like a tree that has a disease that looks good at first, but inside that disease is there. And over time, you see that evil disease overtake that tree, and it turns the whole tree. It kills everything. You ever look at that weird chair that the Pope will sit in that building? I don't know where it's at the Vatican or whatever. It usually looks like a snake. Look at the statue above it. Look how one part looks okay and the other one is hideous. Why? That's the same representation of the tree of knowledge and good and evil. That's the beast system is right there in front of you. That's what that represents. It's simple. God keeps everything simple. You've got this hideous monster on one side, and then the other half is like a regular human. That's a representation of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. God will not have good and evil mixed together. Satan is a kingdom of compromise. That's what Rome is and all these other things. He will have it separated. He separates the sheep from the goats. And this theme goes over all of life. That's why do you think they call it a war for your mind? There's only two principal people on this planet, either the character of God, Father and Son, or the character of Satan, of compromise, mixing of good and evil that creates lukewarm in the last days. It's simple. Picture. The Bible is a children's illustration book.